Okay, let's
How about
say,
you? What would you do? Whoa.
yeah, I'm about asking the same thing to you. So what you should do if let's say Facebook said, okay, now you have to pay in order to use certain features of Facebook. Would you subscribe to it, or I mean, would you pay for it to use it, or will you find another platform, right? So if you ask me, that's the question. I mean, okay, it's depend on how I'm using. So because for me, let's say because I use social media, right? So I'm mainly using Facebook for my social media environment. So if the features that I usually use is within the paywall, I mean, among the premium features, yeah. So I would pay for it. I mean, of course, it depends on how much you charge for it, but I will pay for it because my social media, more or less, I'm more kind of like more reserved in terms of like sharing my life. I'm more like sharing my professional life and sharing about my ideas more and that. And I see social media as a platform of sharing and a platform of communicating idea. So it might be different than other person. I mean, I know there's a certain type of people just, they can share everything in the social media. Because compared to me, I'm kind of more reserved. I would say I think a lot before I writing something in the social media. So my purpose of using social media, it will be different than people. But if you're asking me, that's where I understand that if the features that enable me to deliver my message, like when I'm sharing, maybe this clip, we clip this part that because those who know at me in Facebook know that I'm share the clip of our behind the scene from time to time, like 2 or 3 minutes for everyone to digest. So if that features is behind, I need to pay for the feature, I think I would pay because that's deliver me the idea, allow me to share idea, allow me to project my thought on a wider audience, right? Yeah, that's my take on it. How about you?
My take on this, it's hard to say. I mean,
How about okay?
first they
How
have
about what the social media that you use the most?
Instagram. I mean,
Okay,
I'm not quite a Facebook. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not frequent on Facebook, but in relative to all the social medias
Mm.
that I'm on, Instagram is number one.
Mm.
So
Let's say Instagram,
yeah,
I
like
will be charging. Let's say next one. Let's for example the enough. Okay, there you if you want to, I don't know. If you want to have a moment, is it called moment? I forgot what. Stories. Yeah. So
stories,
let's
yeah,
say, for
stories.
example, if you want to use the stories, you have to pay for it. Well, would you pay for it or how?
I don't know. Making stories is the easiest thing than posting. It makes sense, right?
Correct,
I
correct.
mean,
Very
we can have
instantaneous. Correct.
yeah, we can have an account that's been have 1,000 followers, only 2 posts, a lot of stories. So like, if they put a charge on making stories, I'm gonna kill Instagram. But yeah, like if they put a price on stories, I'll be going out from Instagram. I
Mm,
mean, we have TikTok. It's not really stories, but it's a bit size videos like
mm.
stories, right? Then we have Facebook stories, of course. Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp, so I guess we are left with LinkedIn stories.
But I think LinkedIn also. I mean, LinkedIn also have the version that you have to pay LinkedIn Premium. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that makes
yeah,
sense. I mean, because most people, professionals would use LinkedIn for
correct, correct, correct.
their career advancement, career development, personal
Uh,
development, business. But
yep.
yeah, like talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or any other social medias that's gonna follow this new thing for the consumer, it will be um, consumers with more resources, I would say, will be able to enjoy social media at full premium. Then I would, and then there are those at the mid class, you know, probably can afford for the premium monthly. I'm not sure. And then we have the lower ones who not afford much, but wants to use social media, but they can't because of the price or because of, you know, other commitments that they have, limitations that they have. So this would sort of like create the gap between the far higher class of the society and the far lower class of the society, you know. And this would again put a limit on our freedom on getting information. And getting this information has been crucial for the society, for us to grow, you know. So like that's one. And then if that's so, we would most likely have less consumers. I'm sure this is a huge change, and not everyone can accept big change in a minute. We will see a drop in user acquisition or user retention, you know, and that would be sort of like let's say if I'm a business and I want to advertise. Now that I see that you're not retaining your users well, you're not uh, acquiring and activating new users as well as before. So is the reach getting less? Is my audience getting smaller? Why should I advertise now? Let's say if we have another social media, a new social media in the future, if they do want to put a charge on Facebook, Instagram, and that particular new social media will be free and as good as Facebook, as good as Instagram, that will be a killer. I mean, yeah, because if we want to talk about why Facebook and social media, Facebook and Instagram wants to put a charge on their platforms, is because of the issues or the the matter, the huge issue about personal data breach, misuse of personal data by Facebook and Instagram. That is happening. That is happening in the US. When we talk about personal data law or act, that's really, we still have, how do we say, it's not a solid absolute law that can protect yet, because this is new.
Correct.
And things are advancing like crazy. In digital world, you put a bill on this particular segment of digital world, and then suddenly there's new technology coming up in this digital world. So it's always a play of catching up with the advancement and updating their law and acts or bill or policy. So it's gonna be tricky. And yeah, not everyone. This is something that we're not supposed to be happy about, but not everyone really cares about whether Facebook is using our data or not, especially Asians, because I'm okay, maybe not Asians, but but yeah, like look around you, like most of us are still on Facebook, most of us are still on Instagram, almost everyone. And when you're not on Facebook nowadays, people will be like, what, are you serious? Right? So do we really care about our personal data being breached when Mark Zuckerberg was already being interviewed by the senators, or what was the
Senate,
Senate office, or
Senate,
what?
yeah, Senate office.
I'm not sure. Yeah, and still everyone is still here. Nothing has changed. Stock price maybe go down a little bit, but for us consumers, it's still you know, is the same, is like nothing happened lah. And yeah, so yeah, one is how's the consumer is going to react to that, and then if the consumer react badly to that, where's my guaranteed revenue as a business? I want to advertise on your platform, and then God knows, maybe they have to change their pricing rate, or you know, for businesses to do ads now. We're not sure. And then yeah, this particular issue about personal data breach is very, very, very sensitive. Not very sensitive, but it's very, very
complex.
how to say? No, not complex. It's sort of complex. That's one. I mean, only the Americans. I mean, the United States of America.
Polarized. I mean, depend on who you ask. This definition of personal data can be different, can be argued. Basically, that's what human rights. It's kind of it's really like if you're looking at different part of the world, they doesn't really care about the personal data, but on the part of the world that really care about the personal data. Yeah, so interesting.
So those who don't care, people like us, I mean, people like you guys, our audience who's gonna watch this on Facebook and YouTube is also a social media, a platform, social platform.
Correct.
Suddenly, tiba-tiba, I have to, you know, pay. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. But if they can offer something that consumers would pay for, that would be very, very interesting to watch.